Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready. When I wake up in the morning, I see a monster. Truly. I think it's out of control. I don't even want to FaceTime friends anymore because I look like a Q-tip. You know, it's really starting to affect my life. You know, I feel depressed. I feel insecure. And I just can't show my head any longer. And so I thought to myself, you know, I've got to do something about this. And that's when somebody told me, why don't you just cut it yourself? Jokes aside, I, like many other people, have not had a haircut in an extremely long period of time. And I could definitely wait till salons open, but I don't know. I just kind of wanted to take this as a chance to experiment and try something I've never done before, which means I can completely just screw up and have to cut all my hair off and go bald, but you know, that's fine. It'll grow back. So if you're like me and you just, I don't know, want that extra motivation to do it, then maybe this will give you that inspiration. So let's get started. This is super ratchet, but I'm gonna be using like food clips. Fuck. Okay. All right, so I go in there, and I'm trying to go in with confidence, but I'm not confident. So I start timidly trying to, you know, trim it, going around the ear, trying to follow my instructions from the YouTube videos. It's just not looking right, but you know, I keep on chugging along. Yeah, it just was real bad. All right, so then the clothespin that I used got stuck in my hair, so I ended up having to cut it out. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna do the other side with a little more confidence, just start shaving it off. And yeah, it came off pretty easily. I felt like that side ended up being my better side for sure, but I was still pretty stressed. So then I had to go to the back of my neck with this mini mirror. My hair's too thick, so I just started hacking it off with some scissors because it wouldn't go through. And then after that, I started, you know, it was short enough to where I could use the clippers again to trim it. And then I guess I started trying to touch it up and fade it, because I didn't know what I was doing, so I'm thinking I'm fading. Really, it's just a bunch of chunks of different length hair. It just died. It died. So I guess I'll move to the top and then charge this a little bit, and then go back to the sides. Yeah, so now I'm just cutting off the top. This is how my hairstylist used to do it. Just cut the curls as they are, because that's the only way you know how they look. Okay, so I went out and I asked my brother where I messed up, and he said everywhere. So I am going to not try to fade it and just do one length. And the lowest I went was 5, so I'm just gonna try to do 5 pretty much all the way up and just kind of like push it up so that it blends a little bit. Yeah, so at this point it got way easier. I just used one blade and just kind of just went up, and everything kind of came together. Boom. I did it. You know, it's not perfect. As a matter of fact, if I went to a barber, they'd probably say, you screwed up. But I'm satisfied, especially because I expected complete disaster. And if I'm being completely honest, I'm not a big fan of the perfect, lined up, crispy fade that, I don't know. I just kind of like the more natural looks. So for me, it works. And if I can do that with my thick, Brillo patty, curly hair, there is no way that you shouldn't be able to do it too. So there's a few things that I learned from doing it that I would want to advise so that you don't experience the same thing. And the first one would definitely be to not go straight for the fade. I would recommend doing one length and maybe try blending it a little bit into the top part of your hair. But a fade is just something that's so advanced and it's so intimidating and takes so much time that I feel like it would throw you off of even wanting to cut your hair again. So I definitely recommend just going for that one length for the first try. So for the second recommendation, I'd recommend that you use a larger clipper guard size to start off with. And that just gives you some room to work with when you inevitably screw up. So for example, say you want like a 3 on the side, then you would just use a 5 instead. And then eventually maybe you can go down to a 3 because yeah, it's damn near inevitable that you're gonna mess up. And the last thing is just to go into it accepting that you're gonna mess up and kind of enjoy that, because if you do actually learn how to give yourself a haircut, 2 things are gonna happen. 1, you're gonna save a ton of money, and 2, you are gonna actually be able to give yourself a better haircut than a barber would because you don't have that miscommunication. You know, like when you're in the barber shop and you think you communicated everything, and then you're sitting there and the lady turns you around and she's like, "Do you like the haircut?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's great." You get into the car and you look in the rearview mirror and you're just like, "Oh yeah, you know, you hate it." So that is it. I will leave a couple links down below to the videos I watched to try to learn how to cut my own hair. And thank you for watching. I really wish you the best of luck with your own haircut, and I'll see you next time.